2008 and 9 season has been one of the most successful in recent history for Mizzou on and off the field. We won Big 12 North in football and won the Big 12 men's basketball and soccer. Mizzou is the league academic leader in the NCAA academic progress rates for all sports. Across all the campuses of the University of Missouri, teaching and research is an investment in the future of our state. An investment that will result in economic growth, improved health, and students who are solving real-world challenges.
In this day and age, how quickly does knowledge double?
At the University of Missouri-Columbia, an interdisciplinary team of students developed Nearby, an iPhone application which was showcased recently at the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference and won the MU Reynolds Journalism Institute's iPhone Student Competition.
We've actually put together the iPhone's most comprehensive apartment search.
The software displays real estate listings for nearby properties by using GPS data to automatically search online classified ad services such as Google and Craigslist. Nearby lets users view maps and high-resolution photos, access neighborhood statistics, and contact real estate agents. Nearby has ranked in the top 20 free business apps for the iPhone since its release.
WWDC was by far the best way to cap off our whole experience with this, to embed ourselves once again with the visionaries and the programmers who do this every day.
We just got amazing feedback from them. They are just happy with what they saw and what they can do with our application.
We have basic search feature. We fetch information from many sources, a few dozen sources, and this is the most comprehensive real estate search engine in not just in the App Store, but the whole internet.
Actually, this is my first time to work with students from a totally different department, and we are doing well, so it's awesome.
I really hope that it's a new era of entrepreneurship at the university.
University of Missouri-Kansas City researchers have made discoveries that could open the door to new treatments, improving the quality of life for the elderly, cardiac patients, and people with muscular dystrophy. They're working with the Robert Wood Johnson Medical School in New Jersey to develop therapeutic uses of the gene. As we age, our muscles don't repair themselves as easily.
You know you can't do nothing. You're helpless. Oh, that's an awful feeling.
87-year-old Eva Alloween is walking despite some serious falls over the past 2 years. She's broken her hip and leg. Eva's doing better, but still relies on her walker and wheelchair. Marco Broto and his team of researchers discovered a gene that's responsible for repairing damaged muscle fibers. Using fluorescent markers, researchers can watch the protein produced by this gene zero in and begin repairing the injured muscle.
The muscles, they get hurt, and then they need to be repaired. So for the first time in history, that movie is showing that muscle repair.
University of Missouri Extension is engaged in many education efforts that improve citizens' health across the state through nutrition information and healthy lifestyle education. 4-H'er Hannah Frew and her dog Maddie are part of the University of Missouri Extension program called Platt Pet Power. These dogs and their owners visit nursing homes, family shelters, and hospitals to provide what's known as pet therapy.
If you've never seen it, it's pretty amazing. The faces light up, the hands reach out, there's smiles.
More than a year ago, Hannah was injured in an accident. Since that time, Hannah has been in rehab recovering from a brain injury. Doctors suggested she get a dog to comfort her.
When she first started rehab, she just was really scared. And then there was pain involved. And the dog just, I don't know, when the dog was there, it just seemed to make things better for her.
Now Hannah wants to help others.
Because I like visiting old people and people like that.
There are no words to describe it. It's just utter joy. I mean, to see her come back and to be happy again and smile, and this is something she wants to do, and that's why we're doing it.
At the University of Missouri Delta Center, research to improve yields and profits for Missouri producers continues. Some of this research reaches beyond the farm to an insect that impacts us all, the mosquito.
They're so bothersome that when they're around, we just have to leave.
Over-the-counter insecticides are effective, but they're often overused. Delta Center entomologist Kelly Tyndall says the #1 offender of pesticide misuse is the homeowner, who often over-apply pesticides.
The label is the law, and it gives you the instructions of how to use it properly and how best and what situations it works best on.
Scientists at the MU Delta Research Center are looking at insect resistance, exposing many types of bugs to insecticides to see if they survive.
Over time, if people put more out and more out, you're going to have insects that are immune to the insecticide and it no longer be effective. And then that technology has been lost.
Tyndall says it's important for homeowners to use the right amount of insecticide. Too much too often can kill beneficial insects while encouraging a buildup of tolerance to the chemicals. Pesticide immunity impacts not only homeowners, but also farm profits. The Missouri University of Science and Technology researcher Paul Nahm grows algae in pools that will be turned into biofuel. MS&T and Lincoln University have teamed up with a coal-fired power plant to research green energy.
We can solve 3 problems that we are facing currently. One is the energy shortage, second is the environment, and then the third is actually food shortage.
The algae in the tanks consume some of the carbon dioxide from the coal plant smokestack. Tim Backus, the Chamois Power Plant superintendent, says the bubbling CO2 gas feeds the algae, biofuel is extracted, and what's left can be used for cattle feed.
I think it'll be many years before this technology gets perfected, but hopefully we're making some of the first steps here that will bring good things to come.
Paul Nahm spoke along with T. Boone Pickens and other top energy experts at the Missouri Energy Summit, sponsored by 4 campuses of the University of Missouri system. More than 12% of births in the United States are preterm, with most of those infants requiring intravenous feeding. Aluminum is commonly found in these solutions, and an excess amount of the element can damage the skeletal system, brain, and bone marrow. Scientists at the University of Missouri-St. Louis are developing a device to help protect premature newborns from the toxic effects of aluminum. Using a small filter, the scientists are able to remove the metal from intravenous feeding solutions used for premature babies. The research has produced 2 patent applications and a license for patent rights.
The solution is being given to the infant because they need lots of calcium. The gluconate is there to aid in the processing of the calcium. It's just an unfortunate factor that the gluconate also has this high affinity for aluminum. So it's an inadvertent problem that gets introduced into the system. And what we have designed is this thing that can hopefully outcompete the gluconate, but it has to do it in the presence of huge amounts of calcium. So a major part of the selectivity is that we have to be able to bind the aluminum very tightly, and we need to leave the calcium alone because that needs to pass on through.
As these solutions flow into the bag that's hung to feed the infants, we'll have our cartridge in between, and it will clean the aluminum out of these solutions, and then essentially dropping the levels to those that can be handled reasonably well by an infant.
And so these are very premature infants, and they're helpless. When you walk through there, you can't help but feel very moved by the fact that they really need all the help they can get.
On January 27th and 28th of 2009, the largest ice storm in the last 100 years hit southeast Missouri.
It was one of the worst disasters for this co-op especially to ever see. We were totally devastated. Everything we had was 100% out. Nobody was on. We had over 7,200 poles that had to be replaced that were broke, not counting the ones you got to plumb, you got to go back and straighten up, put cross arms on, transformers, string wire, and all this other stuff. Basically, everything in our 1,500-mile line had to have some kind of work done on it. Our co-op is 26 people at the time. That's our total employees, including myself. And just in a matter of just 2 or 3 days, we went up to 329 co-op people. Then eventually, just in a few more days, we went up to 1,029 people. The University of Missouri came in and offered their facilities so that we could bed these people down at night, because hotels were filled up. We put cots in, and then we needed a place to feed them. We had a restaurant that was going to bring us meals in the morning, bring us meals for the noon time. They fixed sack lunches for us, and then we fed them again at night. Without the University of Missouri and their people, I don't know what we would have done with them.
Just another way that the University of Missouri works every day to fulfill its critical missions: teaching, research, service, and developing Missouri's economy. The University of Missouri makes a difference.